Why isn't tax filing the end of the process when it comes to financial planning?
Taxes is just one of the pieces, right? You have to take a look at how your investments are structured. What vehicles are you putting them in from a taxable account or retirement account? Are there any other ways that you could be saving money? So it all plays together when we think about financial planning. It's that wealth enhancement piece. How are we mitigating taxes? Paying our fair share, but not paying more than we should be paying. Maybe because of the types of investments that are in a specific type of account, right? If you're a higher income earner, you might want to look at things like, does it make sense for you to invest in a municipal bond versus a treasury or, a corporate bond? Because there's different tax structures for each and how that can impact you in the long run. So as we think about income taxes, financial planning, it's important, but it's not the whole piece. Like you've got to look at the, wealth enhancement, wealth transfer. How is the next generation potentially going to be taxed? And is there an efficient way to pass that money on to either individuals, charities, so on and so forth? Wealth protection. What do you need from the standpoint of making sure that you've got the proper insurances in place to protect you against a catastrophic loss or an unforeseen event? At the end of the day, too, how does that charitable giving impact your tax structure? A lot of people, why do they give? A lot of times they're passionate about the organizations that they're giving to, but there can also be the component of how does that impact me on a tax perspective? Are you itemizing deductions or are you taking the standard deduction? And there are ways that you can utilize your charitable contributions, whether it's through kind of like a bundling approach, gifting into a donor advised fund, you take advantage of a itemized deduction in one year, and then in subsequent years, as you gift out of the donor advised fund, you're utilizing the standard deduction. So there's a lot of things that you can do. So taxes are a part of it. It's not all of it, but it impacts all of the other areas of the financial plan, from investments to insurance to estate planning, and also charitable giving.
And if someone just took one step after filing their taxes, what would you want it to be?
I think the first step to take after filing your taxes is actually sitting down and reading it and understanding how and where these things are coming in on the 1040 and how you're getting taxed. We meet a lot of individuals that don't really take the time to do that. They just put it in the file and put it away. I'm guilty of that sometimes, but it's a good idea to actually sit down and understand where your income is coming from and where you're being taxed, because you can make more informed financial decisions if you have that understanding of how can this impact me from a tax perspective.